What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledPeople. Alright, this story's called Entitled Customer Mad That I Won't Keep the Restaurant Open Until 12 a.m. So He Can Ring in the New Year. I'd be mad too. I mean, I'd be kind of annoyed or upset, but that's not your problem. I'd take it elsewhere. This was about 4 years ago, but I just remembered it now. When I was 18, I was the manager at a mom and pop restaurant that was connected to a hotel. The holidays were always super busy with mainly big groups of family who had come into town together for vacation. A week before New Year's, I got a call from a hotel guest asking if we would be willing to keep the restaurant open until 12 a.m. so he and his family of 10, 6 kids, 4 adults, could ring in the new year there. I get them all wanting to be together and can't hate someone for trying. I explained to him that because it was New Year's, our normal closing time of 9 p.m. would actually be changed to 8 p.m. This was not my idea, but the owner's. He then started yelling at me, telling me it was inappropriate and it shows poor work ethic to leave early. He then asked me how in the world I thought it was okay for us to close early so we can all go drink and party when he wanted to dine there and give us extra business. I let him know that it was not my decision, but the owner's, and the reason we were closing early was because we were understaffed and those working the night shift would have to be back in the morning time to open the restaurant, and we wanted to ensure everyone would get enough rest to work a busy breakfast shift. He then told me that we should have been smart enough to hire more people for the holidays. Right, because it's so easy to hire temporary people to work Christmas and New Year's. While we were understaffed, my excuse to him wasn't entirely true, but it was the best I could come up with at the time. I would like to think if this situation happened now, I would tell him that service industry workers deserve time off to celebrate the holidays just as much as they do. I would also explain to him that business-wise, we would probably lose money paying the cooks, waitstaff, and dishwasher to stay for 4 adults, because realistically, the children will not eat much, and we would get no liquor sales from them. Hey man, I've been told that I can drink enough for like 2 kids, so I'm assuming that's a lot. I don't know. I didn't ask. While I understand 8 p.m. is early to be closing, it really is no one's business. We were not a chain business or affiliated with the hotel in any way, so no one else but us has a say in our hours. Even with us stopping service at 8 p.m. that night, I still didn't get out until about 11 p.m. with all the lingering customers and cleanup. It's okay, OP. At least, like, a bunch of people online will agree that that guy was definitely a poopy head. I'd tell him to go spend it with his family, but that might be rude considering he probably doesn't have one because he's a jerk. Whoa, Zach. Cool it. Just kidding. Stay hot. This story's called Entitled Kid Comes Crawling Back After They Screwed Up Project. I usually hate working with people because I'm very stubborn and admittedly, I hate losing control of a situation. It makes me anxious to lose control, but I was getting better. I just started a new class/elective and lo and behold, the first assignment is a big research project worth like half-hour grade that interim. I was really anxious about the partnering system because usually we get to pick our partners or the teacher does. But for this project, the teacher made us take the Myers-Briggs personality quiz to find a partner with the opposite personality type. In theory, it would be like opposites attract and we'd work together perfectly. Oh, if only it was that simple. The results are in. Pairs are made and I get the new kid. I'd met him once before and he seemed pretty chill, so I was okay with it. Our project was about engineering. It was a tech class. The moment we sit down to work, he becomes a total spaz. Like one of those kids who pretends to have ADHD but so clearly doesn't. What? Is that a thing? Do people like throughout their day pretend to have ADHD? He could just have ADHD. I don't what? For the project, we had to make a prezi, write a report, build a robot, and interview an engineer. We divided up the work, equally splitting the Prezi and report, while I would work on the robot and he'd do an interview. 2 weeks later, I finished all my work, so I emailed him asking why he hasn't done anything. His response was, "I don't like the project format. I'm not going to work until you fix it." So I restarted the project in a new format. Damn. A week later, I receive a very rude email about how I missed one day of school without telling him in advance that I would be absent, and he had to do all this work without me. I checked the project details and he'd done nothing. All period. I was sick that day with a cold and due to Brovid was unable to attend school. Obviously not something I can control. I politely emailed him back explaining the situation to him, to which I received another rude email about my lack of dedication to the project, so I decided to set up a Zoom call with this guy and work with him via Zoom. He didn't show up. I tried again a couple days later and again he didn't show. I texted him reminding him and he read the message and blocked me. Later that day, I received an email from the teacher expressing her anger at my lack of work. A few hours later, my mother receives an email from the kid's mother and the principal regarding me bullying my partner. I'm sorry. It's so stupid, but it's funny. I sent them all screenshots of the editing history of our project, as well as our texts and emails. No response, but I didn't get detention. The next day at school, this kid throws a tantrum. Who caught it though? Ha! Because he got detention. All class he refused to work, and as the project was due in a few days, I finished his part except the interview. I showed him the finished work and asked if he liked it, as well as requesting he do the interview, and he remained silent. The next day, I received a carbon copy email he'd sent to a college professor for his interview, where he got my where he got my name completely wrong, basically called me a stupid dependent leech woman, and proclaimed himself the brains and hands of our group after doing no work at all, basically taking credit for my research and work. I then asked him why he called me stupid, and he replied my work wasn't up to his standards, so he fixed it, and the only reason he didn't work was because he enjoyed watching me, the weak petty girl, struggle to write a project on such a manly topic. Oh my god, what? This took a turn I was not expecting. I quickly logged onto the project to find all my work deleted and replaced with his unedited and unresearched work. In the project, he made it clear that I was incredibly stupid and that I had tried to take credit for his work, as well as accusing me of several other things I won't mention. His mother again contacted me about my plagiarism of her poor son's work and how she would be contacting the school board within an inquiry to remove me from the AP course. I was very fed up and angry at this point, so I restarted the project and did everything on my own in 4 days, giving no editing permissions to my partner. I also took pictures of the editing history of the first project to prove I had done quality work and my brat partner had deleted it. We presented today. When it was our turn, I got up and stood silently beside him as he butchered the presentation, showing he clearly didn't know the material. Throughout the presentation, he kept stopping and waiting for me to speak, pleading me, the poor, weak, petty leech, for help, but I remained silent. After his presentation, the teacher gave us the little paper she fills out while we present. We had received 25 out of 100 points, and 15 of those were from the robotical demonstration, the robot I built and programmed. After class, I stayed back and showed the teacher my presentation and the editing history. I was given an edited grade of 95 because I couldn't prove I'd built the robot alone, but it was good enough for me. I sauntered out of class and to lunch, where I accidentally dropped my grade sheet on the table. Let's just say he was fuming that that the work he deemed subpar and not up to his standards won out. I plan on doing the same thing at my plagiarism hearing in a few days, and if all works out, he'll lose his spot on the AP course for messing with my work, and I'll no longer have to deal with him. Damn, OP, you're a freaking dedicated ass student. Like Wowski, Mike Wazowski. I don't know what I would do. That guy, he deleted your work. Like, I would have just given up and just, I don't know, probably moved somewhere. Spontaneous. Let's say Italy and become a surgeon. Yeah, I'll be a surgeon in Italy. They just hand those licenses out there, right? Just be like, hey, I want to be a surgeon. And the other guy's like, okay. And then he's like, basically asks him what you find in the stomach. And then you say, bippity boppy, it's just a bunch of the body spaghetti. And then boom, you get a 2-week training course where you don't really do any training at all for surgery. You just kind of mop the floor and stuff in their vicinity. And they try to pass it off as like a Mr. Miyagi kind of training program, when in actuality, it's just slave labor. I don't know why this is my fantasy. Having a bunch of severely underqualified surgeons is terrifying. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Italy, you're dead now. I can't do anything. I can't reverse what's been done. All right, this is Entitled Kid and Plagiarism Hearing. Well, that just kind of snapped me back to reality. I don't know why I was talking about Italian surgeons. My seasoned Redditor friend said that I should post my hearing updates separately, so here you go. I also realized that in the last post, I mentioned this kid being new, but I'm taking the class for a long time, etc., and me knowing the family. By this, I meant that his mother and his older sister lived together near me, and I knew them. When this kid moved back in with them, or started at our school again, not sure on specific details, he was placed on the remedial course, and was taking this class there, and then got onto NHS and was placed on the AP course where he continued the class, and he was new. Hope that makes more sense. Hearing update. School was weird today. The kid in question was dressed in a tux and blabbing to all the teachers and students saying, "Don't ask me why I'm wearing a suit." And then when they asked, he'd say, "Well, I'm going to court, and I'm gonna send a cheater to jail," while angrily staring/smirking at me. Damn, this guy's serious. Fast forward to about an hour ago. We show up at the BOE meeting, and the mom immediately makes fun of me for showing up in school clothes. Freaking loser! You don't wear a tux? Coward! Why is no one else wearing a tux? I had gym today. Due to Brovid, I can't change, so I had to wear gym-appropriate clothes. A monochrome t-shirt and jeans. Not dirty or gross clothes. Yeah, totally wear jeans at the gym, Dwight. And the hearing was 10 minutes after school. I can't go home and change. My mom tried to step in, but the witch started calling her, "Pour dirt on my shoe," and other insults. The meeting started, and the mother, her son, and their family friend/lawyer, I don't know why they brought a lawyer, it's a school hearing, not a court hearing, starts slandering my name, bringing up things that happened between me and this kid's sister, as well as my apparel, things completely irrelevant to the matter at hand. The BOE eventually cut her off, and she spent 5 minutes arguing, cussing, and mumbling. Her evidence of me cheating was that I copied her daughter's drawing 12 years ago, and that her son is on the AP course and NHS, so he's very honorable, and has been taking this class for years, but I just show up and get a better grade than her son. How dare me! I know, right? The teacher whose class I was accused of cheating in stepped in and said I did work of far substantial quality to her sons. Let's just say she threw a hissy fit and said, "How do you know she didn't switch their work?" My mother then presented the receipts, and after that, the hearing was basically basically over. I get to stay on the AP courses, and I get cheating, bullying, and plagiarism expunged from my record, and I no longer have classes with this kid or his sister. The kid and his mom have another hearing scheduled to see if him lying will get him kicked out of AP course and NHS. Now to the spicy drama. Outside, his mother got up in my face without a mask, spitting on me, screaming about how it was unfair that I get to keep my spot and her poor baby is losing his spot and he's losing his NHS scholarship. She kept ranting, stabbing her finger into my chest about how I've ruined her poor son's future. How is he going to not get into Harvard because he won't have the extra credits and they can't afford the tuition, and how I should pay her son's tuition for ruining his future. It was getting to the point I thought she was going to slap me, and I could just see the little devil smirking. Bro, if this woman was like ruler of the world, okay, she would make her son like second in command or whatever, or maybe put him in charge, and he would think he's qualified, and that's the scary part. Ruler of the world should not think they're qualified to be ruler of the world, and he's a crazy bastard since he does. I mean, we don't know if he does, but I mean, we just know it. That's like 90% of the media news. Ha ha! I criticize the media. I'm enlightened in the eyes of the public. You can trust me, guys. This just in, president of the world says every Wednesday, kids, they don't have a bedtime and they get ice cream for dinner. And no need to fact check because the media is lying. Remember, you can only trust me. All right, this story is called Idiot Neighbor Sells Us Back Our Rubbish and Says We Owe Him Money. Oh boy. I used to have a crazy junkie neighbor who caused a lot of problems in this block, but thankfully he left. Now I have an even more crazy junkie neighbor. Is this Florida? Is that where do the junkies live? Oh, Portland? He goes into the bin room and rips open every bag of rubbish and goes through it all, including people's mail, then says, "Gonna use people's details to get a loan," etc. Wouldn't work, but that's not the point. And then goes door to door in this block trying to sell the stuff he's just pulled out of the bin for this building. So he's literally trying to sell us back our own rubbish. Now the question is, how effective is he? Everyone is mad with him for the mess he makes in the bin room and for trying to sell us our own rubbish. But even worse, he now keeps telling people they owe him money when they don't. Got his head kicked in recently for saying it to my neighbor's girlfriend. Then the other day, he was trying to sell me crap while I was waiting for the lift, and I said no, so he went to my door after I left and gave my boyfriend a roll of wallpaper, then said my boyfriend had to pay him for it later. We didn't want his stupid wallpaper. My boyfriend said, "Nah, keep it." But then Idiot Neighbor was like, "Your girlfriend owes me 25 pounds, so you just give me it now." He's so methed up, he developed a southern accent. In England. Oh my god, my nose. I have never owed him anything. In fact, he still owes me the 10 pounds he borrowed when I first met him. But more importantly, he's already had his head kicked in for saying someone's girlfriend owes him money when she didn't. Why is he still trying it? I want a normal neighbor for once who doesn't try to demand money from everyone. Oh yeah, he also feels entitled to demand my meds, saying he needs them so he can get to sleep. And if I say no or give him 2, he's like, "But you gave me 6 before." Zugor! I'm prescribed them cause I need them, not so some idiot can take them off me. Sorry I kinda rushed this and probably not made it very interesting. Thanks everyone for your replies. I honestly didn't think anyone would even read it. Edit 2. Just saw him again. He said, "Looks like someone's put a unicorn doormat at my door. I think it was insert name of a neighbor who kicked butthole neighbor's head in before? I told him, you brought that on yourself the other day. He insisted that wasn't the case, and I said, yes, you did. I saw you, and then you went to my door insisting to my boyfriend that I owe you 25 pounds. You were freaking crap-faced as usual. Then he was like, oh my god, sorry, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed now. Then kept apologizing. I just laughed and said, whatever. Sounds like he genuinely doesn't realize how wrecked he gets and how much of a nightmare he is. Oh, so much laughter in this story. It's sad, though. This guy has a serious drug problem. Oh, I'm laughing. I mean, it's funny. Schadenfreude. No, I'm sorry. That's messed up. I mean, it is funny, but it's messed up. It's a messed up situation, guys. Messed up. Alright, this story's called Stole from My Diaper Bag. When I was a teenager, I worked really hard and saved up for Christmas. I went shopping while babysitting for a friend. I went to pay and someone had gone into the baby bag, got my wallet, took all $350 I had, and left a note on top. Teenagers should not be moms. Maybe if you have to work to earn money, you won't have time to make any more welfare babies. I cried so much. Never found out who did it. It wasn't my baby. I used the payphone to call my then boyfriend's house. He was not home, but his mom was. I sobbed the whole story to her. My eventual mother-in-law drove over and gave me about $150 to cover what she could. The jerks assumed a lot about me because I was a 17-year-old shopping with a baby in a high-end mall. Sorry, I don't have a satisfying ending. At least they left my wallet. Hey, that is a satisfying ending because your mother-in-law's nice. That's it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.